mysterious Straits of Mesina. We've called in on Channel 13. We got clearance yesterday. It's a huge fine if you don't. Huge fine, like what, 1,000 euros or something?
Somewhere at.
If you don't make arrangements for doing this, and then you have to call in before you actually enter the strait on VHF. So we've timed it to go with the current, supposedly, but the problem is that the currents kind of swirl around, and there's actually a low current and a high current. There's different layers in the water. One pulls in one direction and the other pulls in the other, and that's why you get such craziness happening here. You get whirlpools and churning water, boiling water, all sorts of stuff, and boats get spun in circles. And luckily, this day, so far at least, is very, very calm. So at least we're not trying to do it in bad weather. So ferry traffic is a big thing in these areas. Here we're going to have to watch for it.
These lines in the water.
You can see the currents out there. We're staying inside the traffic separation zone. The traffic separation zone is for the big commercial traffic, and they tell us we should stay next to the shore and outside of that zone, which is fine with us. We do have to watch out for the ferries. They're the most dangerous, followed by the fishing boats. So here's the proof that we're actually in the currents. Speed over ground is 9.1 knots and our boat speed's only 6.2. So that's always the way you can tell if you're going against or with currents, is the difference between those two numbers. You can see the current up ahead and the boat's fighting. In fact, I'm gonna maybe see about getting off of auto up here.
Questa patriarca secondo la contromarrete 08 08.
More funky currents. Got spun a little bit by that.
Just smashed into the other current.
Yep, now we got current going against us after that. Now we're down to 5.4 speed over ground, so it's just a weird place. GPA 988 feet. It's better than the 39 feet I was getting a second ago. There's where it's going. That's the ferry dock. So this guy's got to leave in order for that guy to come in. In order for that guy to come in. So these ferries just run back and forth for that. It'd be a little easier to build a bridge across here if we weren't in like 200 meters of water.
We're here in Reggio Calabria, just past the Straits of Messina, and getting ready to head over to Greece. So we've got a few items that we need to complete. We had to get exit stamps for our passports, according to what some friends of ours have told us, to make entry into Greece quite a bit easier. So we have actually gone ahead and gotten that done. But it'll be interesting to see what happens on the other end. We also need to do some grocery shopping to get several days of provisions, because it'll take us a couple days to sail over there. And last but not least, we have to actually look at the weather forecast, which we haven't really done yet.
This is the last we're going to see of Italy for a while. We're motoring because we don't running straight into a headwind. But this wind is wrapping down around that point up there, and we're hoping that once we get offshore, we'll be able to pick up maybe not a beam reach, but something that's not right on the nose the way it is now. It just is what it is. We got a long way ahead of us. We're looking at 40 hours and 34 minutes, 209 nautical miles over to Greece. And there's Greece, way out there. Some big swells coming in. And according to Fast Seas, they told us that, you know, their routing was going to be down, around, and back up. The wind's supposed to be doing this for the next couple of days. And unfortunately, we're running pretty south of the line. But we're hoping that we can make adjustments northward as time goes on. But at least we're sailing, and this is the nature of it, I suppose. You know, you don't always get to sail directly to where you want to go. And the Med is notorious for this, that everywhere you want to go, you get a headwind. You're either dead on the nose or dead on the butt. And those are not good points of sail for most boats. So we're going to do what we can do to try to get there under sail. But look at this, 63 hours instead of 40 to 48. If we were to go straight there, that would require motoring dead into the wind.
Finally leaving the edge of Italy behind. It's almost out of sight now. And heading out. We finally have some good wind. We're beating up wind. Gonna have to do some tacking to get there. But it's a nice afternoon. And by leaving the coast, we've been able to avoid, so far, this thunderstorm that's over the edge of Italy. So that was good. Not having to get all wet. Just having a good time.
Now we're sailing. We have our generator going right now, which we run for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night when we're on passage in order to keep the refrigerator chilled down and the batteries charged. The batteries have like 10 days of life. I don't actually need the house batteries to be charged, but the refrigerator has to stay cold. So a nice side benefit is the battery charger and the water heater both run. Calorifier, they call it. But this gives you an idea of how it's going. I mean, we're mocking along and under full sail and trying to keep as close, beating up wind as much as we can right now. We are curving down in a big circle to come back up to the other side of toward Greece, and we're worried about trying to maintain our windward position as much as possible, as we don't want to be ending up too far south and having to motor or tack or whatever to get back up there. We're going to be on the water for a full 48 hours the way things are looking right now. And anything we can do to try to get there in good time is going to be a welcome thing. I should mention one thing about this boat. It is an extremely quiet boat. There's no creaking or anything like that when you're underway, and that's unusual. I think it speaks to how heavy duty all the joinery is. A lot of the newer, lighter weight boats, they make a lot of squeaking noises when you're sailing.
So making dinner while underway can be a little bit fun. We've got a bit of a sea, so I've got some raviolis boiling on the stove. We've got the stove gimbaled, so trying not to wear the ravioli. I took the precaution of making the sauce earlier today, so before we left port, I went ahead and made up a big pot of spaghetti sauce so that we've got something to put on the raviolis. Little red sky at morning.
Sailors already taking warning.
A little reefing call at 5 a.m.
Yeah, it's not fun. We lost the moon at around, I don't know, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's very, very dark. And wind speed kept coming up and changing direction, which we knew was predicted on the weather forecasting. So I kept steering into it, but it kept getting more powerful. Finally, I was yelling down the wind to come help me reef because it was we were going almost 8.5 knots, and the boat did not want to go up into the wind. So I depowered the sails as much as I could, and we just started. Wendy started cranking on the furling line, and it furled. And it didn't furl. There was no problems with furling, and once we got to the second reefing point, things really got better, quite a bit better. And now we've got. We're at the second reefing point for our headsail, and we've got about half of our main out, and the helm is balanced. So we're happy with sail trim, but we're only going like 5 knots. But given the squalls are still around, I don't know if we really want to make any changes immediately.
We had a little squall this morning, and now I'm just minding the store. Boat's getting pushed around quite a bit with these waves. Not too bad. Just a little, I think I have a little stress about being so far from land and still over halfway to go, so this shift is always my lowest blood sugar moment, and I definitely want to go back to bed. So at least the sun's up and it's not pouring rain on me, and we'll get through it. Sitting here dealing with the waves, but the most annoying thing is the flapping bimini. It's right over my head and it's just driving me nuts. And there's nothing I can do about it. We're averaging about 7 knots. Winds up about 22 to 24. About halfway. Our dinghy has a leak and we've repaired it, but it's getting soft on the passage, which makes it not sit in the cradle properly, and so Kevin's trying to pump it up.
There's the tired wife at the end of her shift. Ready to go take a nap. This has been a stressful passage so far. It's not bad. It's not particularly bad. It's just I don't know. Wind speed's been fluctuating a little bit. We've had to reef a few times, and I don't know. It's just feels like unsettled conditions, and the waves are big. I gotta say the boat feels good. I came up on watch about half an hour ago. Just running the generator again. Our refrigerator warmed up quite a bit last night. Water temperature here is very warm. We're about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. I would say we're doing okay. It's a long passage. This is a full 2 days, 2 full days and two nights, and it wears on you doing big passages. You just get used to the boat, the rhythm of the boat with time, but it's tough when you're overpowered 1 minute and then kind of feel like you've been stopped dead in the water the next. And sail trim is something that I'm learning this boat still in terms of its little tricks, and one of them is that at least on a beat like this, you're either at 7 knots or more, or you're at 5 knots, mid fives. And if you're trying to adjust to get to 6, it doesn't happen. It just falls off the wind. Off of 7 and drops down to 6.5, 6.4, 5.8, and then you have to either harden the sails or bear off, and then you can get yourself back up into the 7s, and the 7s it just likes that speed a lot better, and that's good. Of course, we're going to get where we're going faster, but sometimes it feels as though when you start getting up above 8 in these types of conditions, the boat starts to feel like it's really big, it's overpowered. The seas are too rough, and there's too many big troughs in order to carry that kind of speed. Maybe on a different, if the waves are coming at a slightly different angle, it might be different. But on this one, you just don't feel safe. You feel like lines are being stretched. You hear things start to creak and make a lot of noise. I think the boat can probably handle it, but we're trying to get to where we're going in one piece, and we don't want to arrive at night either, so there's no giant benefit to going extra fast. So it's 13 hours to get to the first turn, the first waypoint that's in Greece. So that'll be middle of the night sometime. Beautiful day for a sail. Too bad well, not too bad, but we are 12 hours from land. We're in the middle of the ocean. But beautiful sunny day, and the wind is consistent. Everything's going well at the moment. Except this flag. This flag is needing to be taken down because it's unraveling. I'll fix that here in a second.
Do you have water?
We're getting grid files off the Iridium Go so that we can update our weather and just make sure that we know what's happening tonight. We don't use this very often because usually we're within distance of cell service, but not out here. So it's nice practice to go and do it every now and again. Wendy makes incredible food. This is raviolis with chicken, and it's beautiful.
I try hard. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and we've just reached Argostoli. We had a fairly smooth passage over. However, at about midnight, as I was switching off our tricolor and putting on our steaming lights, I managed to hit the autopilot switch on the panel, and it wouldn't come back on. So we're about 5 miles out still, and we had to hand steer into the harbor. Not a really big deal, but the fact that the autopilot will come on is kind of a big deal. So we're anchored now in the Argostoli harbor, and we'll get to see where we are and clear customs and all those fun things in the morning.
Well, we arrived last night very late into Argostoli in Greece, and this is what the area looks like. It's quite pretty, and the bars were going off last night. It was 3 o'clock in the morning and they were still going. Looks like there's a little market going on down there, but we still have to clear in. We have to go talk to the customs and the port police and immigration and everybody and their brother. So we're gonna go and do that real quick. Get ourselves some cool stuff over here. These guys set this sunshade up on top of that beautiful boat. Okay, let's go drop. Why don't you go throw them the lines, Wayne? Behind us.
That's right. Alpha, A-L-P-H-A.
Hey there. We're finding that almost everyone here speaks English, which is a great change of
And
pace
they're
from
much
Italy.
happier than Italy.
We're ordering food and getting ourselves cleared in. And we got here, what, 3 o'clock in the morning last
3
night?
o'clock in the morning, we got here. Cleared customs this morning. Went over to the office, which is right across the street from us. They were great. Argostoli has a really great customs and port police set up. They walked us right through it. They sent us to all the right places to get stuff. We got our transit log, all stamped, we're ready to go.
Okay, so we come to Greece. The first thing I do is order Mexican kind of fajita dish. When did it arrive?
I got the Greek salad.
Oh, ketchup. Yeah, this is what Argostoli's town key looks like. It's a very, very cool place. There's no power. There is water, but no. There's this big long hose for water shared all along the waterfront, and no electric pedestals. So you either have to be good with warm food or have a generator, like we do. Everybody runs their generator for an hour or so every day, or 2 hours, however long it takes. Food is so much more diverse. There's anything that you want, just about, you can find here for food.
Including Greek.
Including Greek, but You can get Italian, you can get everything except for Thai food. There's no Thai food here.
Oh, you poor thing. Well, we are going to Fiscardo.
Yeah, I found out that there's a Thai restaurant north of here, so we're gonna actually sail up to try it.
Yeah, it's like a 30-mile sail just to get Thai food for Kelly.
No, it's on the list of places everybody wants to go anyway. So.
Sure it is.
Now this is what's gonna make you buy shoes. Or that.